Point out that this guy right here, look at this guy. This guy's watching the goddamn morning news, and he's doing it on the factory navigation system. You ain't supposed to be doing that because, as far as I know, that's like illegal. You're not supposed to be watching television and you're driving the car. You're supposed to be driving the car and paying attention to the road. Jesus Christ, this man is going to get us all killed. So I was asking about leasing and financing options because I was wondering what are the options to buying one of these things. So as you can see, there's a silver one back there, but that's a dealer. That's one of his cars, so he actually drives that. But this one right here, I think, is a customer car. So one of these belongs to the dealer, one belongs to the customer. And they have 3 black ones on the truck on their way here. And the 3 black ones they have are like black rear-wheel drive, white interiors. I don't think they have Super Cruise. And right now, there seems to be an issue building these things with Super Cruise. So right now, they're saying that the tech models are, right now, they're paused. So this one's this is one of the ones I saw online. So this one has the Super Cruise system. Is luxury rear-wheel drive. Price is $63,590. Okay. And yeah, this has Super Cruise, and it also has, what is that? Stellar Black Metallic, $625 for the paint. So yeah, that's just what it is. But this one's not all-wheel drive. Yeah, I gotta turn on focus lock because the sun causes my autofocus to go crazy. So yeah, this one's black, and this one doesn't have 22s. This one has 20s. Yeah, so they've started. You see all these forklifts and shit. They need all of that stuff just for these lyrics because these lyrics are so heavy. So they had to buy all new forklifts, and they had to buy all new lifts in order to get under this thing so that they have access to the battery. So that's a black one right there, and then that's the silver one. So that's the dealer's. So he has the sky gray interior, and then he has 22s. Yeah, so he had the whole thing like wrapped and everything. So this is exactly what mine's gonna look like, except I have a power moonroof. Yeah, so that's exactly what mine's gonna look like. Sky gray interior, power moonroof, 22s, 19 kilowatt hour charger. So I'm gonna have all of that stuff on mine. I don't even know if I really need the 19 kilowatt charger. I just said, yeah, just give it to me. Yeah. Definitely looks different. So I'm going to make a very, very short video, and it's about AI stocks. And Forbes Advisor put together a short list of the best AI stocks that it sees for 2023. Now, first of all, before I even read this to you, I just want to be very clear. One of the biggest problems that I've seen over the last couple of years, and I've brought this up before in a couple of my videos, is the fact that you've got so many Ponzi schemes in so many different sectors. One of which that nobody talks about are the SPACs. SPACs and IPOs. The way a business is supposed to work is a business is supposed to demonstrate that it can produce a profit first, and then it's supposed to bring the business to the public. So what usually happens is when they're trying to put together money to bring the business to the public, after they've proved that they can create a profit, they usually go after venture capitalists and they try to build up the money in order to take that company private, whatever it is. And then they go private, or they leave the private sector, they go public, and then they start selling their shares on the open market. And usually when there's an IPO, the initial public offering, is basically a chance to let the big wigs and to let the friends of friends get in first and get in early before the share prices soar, right? And that's typically what ends up happening. But what I saw, especially during COVID, was you had all of these startup companies that never turned a profit, never proved a profit, and SPACs, IPOs, and then what was worse than that was these cryptocurrencies. And these things were coins that were popping up left and right based on nothing, backed by nothing, no intrinsic value, and so forth and so on. So basically, one of the things about AI that I don't like is the fact that there's a chance that you could have a bunch of companies pop up and all of these companies making huge claims, and then you have a lot of people buying into these things. And the problem is they may never turn a profit. They may never even produce a product. And not only that, let me also say this. Another type of company that has popped up where they make big promises, they don't have a product, they never made a profit, they never showed a profit. Electric vehicles. Even in China, a lot of companies that start up, these things end up going bust because they have no product, they have no profit, they have nothing to show. But the thing about it is the initial excitement about these products and these companies, the initial excitement, it drives investment. So what ends up happening is you can have one of these companies suck up a lot of money and then all that money just evaporates. Coinbase is one example. Robinhood is another example. Then there's a bunch of examples in the Chinese market, especially, their real estate-backed securities. There's also a lot of examples here in America that you could point to. So my thing is, if you do intend to invest in AI, I recommend not investing in the smaller companies. Now, you could do whatever you want with your money. I don't care because it's your choice. But me personally, I go after the large companies because I know that the large companies, they have entire buildings dedicated to risk mitigation. Like they have entire buildings, entire sectors, divisions, however you want to call it. They are completely watching every single penny. And they're looking for profit everywhere it can be found. So I don't have to do the due diligence to go after the larger company because I already know that, especially for the ones that have been around for a very long time and continue to show profit, I trust them because I already know that they're going to incorporate AI, but they're going to do it in ways that make sense. And not only that, they're going to push innovation forward. Furthermore, the large companies, if they see small companies that are getting somewhere with AI or that are doing things that somebody else is not doing, all they're going to do is buy the smaller company. Microsoft and Apple, for example, when they see any level of competition from a smaller company and they think that this smaller company has a good product, they're just like Shark Tank. They're sitting back watching, and as soon as you show that you've got something good, they're just going to buy you up. So I trust going after the larger companies. Now, again, you could go after these small companies. You could put your money in the AI coin or Chat GPT coin or all these bullshit cryptocurrencies that are going to pop up claiming that they've got all this AI behind them and making all these wild claims. Oh, we going to the moon. We going to Jupiter. You can do that. I'm not doing that. I'm just not doing it. So anyway, it says artificial intelligence is suddenly everywhere. You can thank the release of ChatGPT in November 2022 for setting off the current wave of interest in AI applications. The startup behind ChatGPT is called OpenAI, and the company has earned a $29 billion valuation based on surging interest in its AI engine. For investors who are willing to venture further out on the risk spectrum, AI stocks could be the next big thing. Just beware that other hot new tech trends like cryptocurrency and the metaverse have hardly worked out well. Now, I want you to pay very close attention to that. have hardly worked out well for equity investors over recent years. You remember Zuckerberg and Metaverse? You remember how Zuckerberg changed Facebook to Metaverse, and Metaverse was going to be the next big thing? Everybody was going to have virtual reality helmets. We were going to be dating in cyberspace, and you remember the NFTs? Oh, yeah, we got the Metaverse helmet on, and we're walking around buying property and NFTs and all that bullshit. You remember how that went? Oh, who was it? Bandman Kevo. It's like, yeah. I just bought some property in the cyberverse. I bought some property on the metaverse, and it's something I haven't even. I bought it, but like I had to put on the virtual reality goggles to go see it and all that. And I'm like, are you people serious? But as far as I'm concerned, all of that shit is nothing more than money laundering, as far as I'm concerned. But I'll let the Federal Bureau of Investigation deal with that. So anyway, back to what it says. It says if you're ready to take the plunge, we have identified 7 top AI stocks. So I'm just going to go straight to the stocks. They have a couple of trading platforms here. TD Ameritrade's about to disappear. It's about to become what is it called? It's about to become Charles Schwab. So right here, they show you a very simple list. Now, I'm already invested in pretty much most of these. In fact, wait a minute. Okay, I'm pretty much invested in all of these with the exception of one. Because as you know, I created my own index fund, Mangoat, which stands for Microsoft, Apple, Nvidia, Google, oil stocks that pay dividends, AMD, Amazon, and Tesla. So as you can see right here, guess who shows up? Microsoft, $2.3 trillion market cap. Amazon, $1 trillion market cap. NVIDIA, $714 billion. Mark my words, NVIDIA is going to $1 trillion. And I said this a long time ago, because you can look up the videos that I made when I was telling you to buy into that NVIDIA stock split. I don't know if you remember that. I was telling y'all to buy that stock split. NVIDIA is going to $1 trillion. And considering it's $714 billion, I think it's obvious that that's where they're going. C3 AI Incorporated is right now $2.1 billion. And, if you don't have a lot of money, chances are their stock is cheap, so you could probably buy that. Alphabet is Google. As you have probably noticed recently, Google is recouping the losses that it showed during the Russia versus Ukraine curb stomp. Both Google and Amazon did stock splits right before Russia invaded Ukraine. During that time, you saw Google and Amazon dip. You saw them lose, I'd say about, between $60 and $90 a share. Because they did their stock split, and all of a sudden you had Russia versus Ukraine, and all of a sudden all that shit fell apart. But Google and Amazon are reclaiming their losses right now. So I'm watching my stock portfolios in the green because they're reclaiming their losses. I don't know when this Russia-Ukraine thing is going to end. I really wish it would hurry up and end, because the thing about it is we cut 144 million Russians out of Google and Amazon. Obviously, that was going to have some repercussions for the stock price. Then on top of that, you had China shut down because of COVID. So obviously that was going to have even more repercussions. And both of those things happened around the exact same time. And, that really hurt. But you know what? The bottom line is dips happen. There's up days, there's down days. Micron. I've been telling y'all about Micron. I did a story about Micron. I don't know how many, everybody, oh, no, we're going to put our money in XRP. XRP, they're going to settle their lawsuit in just a couple of days. They're going to settle their lawsuit. The XRP is going to the moon. Yeah, right. So anyway, I was telling people about Micron. I was telling people that Nancy Pelosi went over there, did that insider trading, snatched her money out of them Taiwanese people's hands, and then America wants to dominate chips, and they want to do it domestically. And the reason why they're afraid of China going after Taiwan is because if China were to take over Taiwan, China would control 90% of all the chips being manufactured on Earth. Because Taiwan controls 90% of the chips being manufactured on Earth. So Micron, I did a story about Micron. You probably didn't see it because I don't get views on those stories. I'm giving out all this fucking free information about stocks and I barely get any video views. That's okay. That's okay because when you see me in Bali or you see me in Bora Bora and you ask me how did I get there, I'm not even going to answer. I'm going to say, yeah, just go watch my old videos. That's all I'm going to say. So anyway, and when you see me on that business class flight and I'm sipping champagne at 35,000 feet, and you're like, well, how did he do that? How did he get there? I'm not going to say nothing. You know what I'm going to say? I'm going to say, yeah, go watch my videos and you'll find out how I got there. Because you know what pisses me off? YouTube pumps all of these crypto scammers and YouTube pumps all of these people trying to sell fake game and fake products and fake, what are those things? Like Ty Lopez. Oh, yeah, I got a garage, but you know what's better than a garage full of Lamborghinis? It's a bunch of books. Yeah, they try to sell all that fake shit, and here I am giving out free information, and I don't get it. That's okay. You know what? That's okay. When you see me on that plane, and I'm on my way to Bali, or I'm on my way to Papiat or Bora Bora, and you see me on that business class flight, and I'm sipping champagne in the clouds, don't ask me how I got there, because I'm not going to say nothing. Don't ask. I'm going to say, yeah, go watch my videos. But anyway, Micron is building a factory, and you can look this up yourself. Micron is building a factory in upstate New York, a part of New York, the ass end of New York. Because here's the problem. When people hear New York, they think New York City. They think Manhattan. That's what they think about New York. That's all they think about New York. Everybody in the entire world, when you say New York, they think Manhattan, right? Guess what? There's parts of New York, they ain't shit in those parts of New York. There's nothing up there but prisons. Turns out that when you take our factories and you give those over to Asia, it turns out that you've got nothing left for us except prisons. So what ends up happening is people move upstate and they go to places where there's nothing else except prisons. And the prisons themselves start up an entire economy, because when you put a prison up there, well, what else do you need? You need guards, right? So if you need guards, you need the guards to live nearby. So if the guards live nearby, you're going to need houses. So that means you got to start building houses. What else do you need? You got to have schools, because these people got to have children if they live near the prison, right? Because they ain't got nothing else to do except have children. So you need schools, stores, malls, blah, blah, blah. So you're building. It's almost like, I call it the prison industrial complex. We got a military industrial complex, a school industrial complex, and we got a prison industrial complex. Those are like the three pillars of socialism in this country. But anyway, Troy, New York, Micron is building a factory. They're going to build a real big factory. They started already building it. And they're going to be producing semiconductors in Troy, New York. Guess what? Micron stock right now is in the $60 range, right? It ain't going to stay there long. It's just like I was telling y'all during the pandemic, and people watch my videos, y'all remember. I was telling you about AMD and Logitech. Both of them were under $50 when I kept on talking about them. Micron was under $50 when I kept on talking about it. Well, I just want you to go and look at where they are now. Micron's in the high $60 range. AMD is $105 last time I checked. NVIDIA is the same thing, because, see, I recognized right away, NVIDIA makes the best video cards on the entire market. Video cards to play video games, right? And for some levels of productivity with graphics, but for the most part, it's for video games. So NVIDIA makes the best workstation GPUs. NVIDIA makes the best video game GPUs, bar none. NVIDIA makes chips for cars that have heads-up displays and have navigation systems to display the graphics. Cars like Audis. And AMD does too. AMD does a lot of those chips too. The bottom line is these computer chips are going to be in all these electric cars. They're already all over the gas cars, but they're going to be in all these electric cars too, because these fucking cars drive themselves, for God's sakes. You need chips to do that. You need chips in the seats for the massage button in my new Cadillac when it finally comes. It's going to have heated, cooled, and massage seats. You got to push the button. It's got to go through the chip first. Long story short, Micron is going to the moon. Now, I'm not talking about like Bitcoin. Oh yeah, well Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 by 2020. Oh, okay, wait, we missed that price target. Bitcoin's going to be $100,000 by 2021. Summer 2021, Bitcoin going to be $100,000. I think most of the times when I heard people say where Bitcoin was going to be, I usually posted those photos, and sure enough, it never got there. I remember I was watching Fresh and Fit show, and they always got them two guys on that come on every time Bitcoin falls into the toilet, because I guess they're there to help rally it or something. Hey, one of these dudes said Bitcoin was going to be $1 trillion by now. I swear to God, I couldn't make that shit up. And I was like, what? You heard people say Bitcoin is going to be like $1 million by now. You heard people say that. I know you heard people say that. I know you've seen it written. You've heard these big Michael Saylors. Oh, yes, well, if you buy Bitcoin, you got to remember that if you get on a plane, you can't take $100,000 with you on a plane. But if you have Bitcoin, you can have an unlimited amount of money on the plane with you. Y'all listen to that. So I know you heard them say it. So my question is, why isn't it $100,000? You mean to tell me that during global uncertainty, global recession, World War III, on the brink of World War III, you mean to tell me with all of that, it still couldn't get to $100,000? It got to 68, really? And that was when interest rates were less than 3%. Now they're damn near 7%, and you can't borrow the money to buy this stuff without taking extreme risks at this point. But that's all besides the point. What I'm trying to tell you is that if you're going to bet on AI, it doesn't make sense to bet on AI directly. It makes more sense to bet on companies that have a proven track record, and these companies will do the risk mitigation for you. That's what I'm saying. So my index is already fulfilled with this list. I'm going to take a closer look at C3.ai Incorporated, because everything else, we already know about Amazon. We already know about the rest of these people. Now, I don't know anything about C3.ai. I'm going to look at their shares, and I'm going to see how much it costs. And Tesla, you already know. Tesla's going to have self-driving cars, running people over. And, Tesla's Tesla, so we already know what that is. Alphabet, Google, you already know what they're going to do. They're going to have their warehouses, Amazon, they're going to have their warehouses running on AI and everything. Have you ever gone to an Amazon Fresh store? You can go in there, scan your phone, go shopping, walk out, scan your phone again, and they know every single damn thing you picked up because they got like 1 million cameras in there just watching. The whole time, the cameras are watching. If you move anything, they watching. And when you walk out of there, they know exactly what you got in the cart. Like, I put them to the test. I went and got some cookies. I picked up, what was it? I picked up like 3 chocolate chip cookies, and the goddamn computer knew exactly what I had in the box. They knew. So what I'm saying is, this shit is real. Like, they know. Like, if you pick up a can of salt, they know. Like the Amazon Fresh store, you don't have to talk to nobody. You just walk in, you fill up your grocery cart, and you just walk out. You don't have to talk to anybody. And they know what you took. And they charge it right to your account. Like, it's crazy. Like, I ain't never seen nothing like that before. It's crazy. It's like, at this point, after you go in there and you go shopping 2 or 3 times and you don't get arrested because you didn't walk out and steal something, then you start to trust the technology, and then you're like, oh, okay, yeah, well, I just take it for granted now. So now I walk in there, I'm out in 18 minutes. I just go through a couple of aisles. I will say this, the prices are high. They're higher than going to like Walmart. But for the most part, I take advantage of it, and I don't even think about the fact that it's goddamn computer watching me the whole goddamn time. I don't even think about that no more. Like, me personally, if I was going to come up with a scam coin to sell AI, I'd call it Terminator coin or Skynet coin or Kill All Humans or something like that. I'd call it something cool because most people would actually, they'd be like, hey, that sounds like a great idea. And then they'd put money into it, right? But I'm not even going to bother with that because I don't feel like getting investigated by the FBI, and I don't feel like being on television. It's like, yeah, this guy right here, he was a YouTuber, and then he invested in or he started a scam coin. Next thing you know, I'm in jail. No, I don't feel like doing that. I don't feel like doing that at all. I got to be on the plane to go to Bali or Bora Bora or something. I ain't got time for that nonsense. So that's just what it is. I recommend you look into these companies, especially if there's any of these companies. And by the way, Micron pays a dividend. Just so you know, Micron pays like a 1% dividend. Apple, strangely enough, is not on this list. I feel Apple is going to take AI and they're going to do big things with it. So the bottom line is, these are easy bets because when you put your money into, especially the dividend payers, you ain't got to worry about much of anything because the thing about it is, as long as they're paying a dividend, you're getting a return. And for the most part, these companies are making products annually that people want. So for the most part, they're turning a profit and they are constantly turning out new products. They have huge subscriber bases. Microsoft got all these people playing Xbox. I will say this, I haven't seen any games on Xbox worth buying. Meanwhile, PlayStation is getting like games that, in my opinion, are worth buying. See, I play all my games on Steam, on the computer. But the bottom line is, who runs my computer? Microsoft. Windows 10, Windows 11, they run my computer. So they got me one way or another. They got me. And they got advertisements left and right. I know they're making money there. So the bottom line is, the profit is there. It's there. It already is there. I'm not worried about that. Same thing goes for Apple. So this is what I'm talking about. It's like, try not to let yourself get sucked into these fly-by-night AI scam coins and shit and these scam stocks and SPACs and IPOs. Try not to let yourself get sucked into that nonsense because you got to understand there's a lot of scammers who are always ready to jump on the next big thing. And they take advantage of people who think that they're jumping on the train when the train's just pulling out of the first station. And the reality is, nah, these people had you lined up from the very beginning. So just be careful with that. That's all I had to say.
To be continued.